Welcome to the NodeJS Introductory course. NodeJS Academy is aimed at providing to-the-point, no-nonsense expert tutorials. First of all, we want to congratulate you on taking your first step to learning this awesome technology called NodeJS. Before beginning the course, let us set some expectations. In this course, we will be introducing you to Node.js. By the end of this course, you will be able to understand why to use Node, where it fits, and how to use it. You will be able to write REST APIs and serve a static website using Express.js. This course is part of our full bootcamp course that teaches you everything you need to know about Node and makes you a confident Node.js developer. So, who is this course for? This course is for anyone who is interested in learning Node.js. Whether you are a JavaScript developer who wants to learn backend or migrating from other backend technologies to Node.js, this course is for you. This course expects prior knowledge of JavaScript and a little bit of enthusiasm. That's all. So let's step into the course. In this lesson, we're going to see how this course is organized. First, we will start understanding what is Node. Where does it fit in your technology stack, and what problem does it solve? We're going to set up Node.js in our machines, explore code modules, introduce you to the Express framework, and write REST APIs. Finally, we're going to see how to serve web pages using Express.js on cloud. If all of these things are new to you, no need to worry. In this module, let us understand what is Node.js and what problem does it really solve. Node.js is a JavaScript runtime. It brings JavaScript to the back end. Before Node.js, JavaScript was limited to browsers. In a typical client-server architecture, where you hit a website from your machine, a request will be made to the server sitting somewhere, and a response will be sent back. Node.js sits on the server side, and it handles all your requests and sends back the responses. Apart from the web applications, Node.js can be used to build a variety of applications, like standalone command line applications, real-time chat, Internet of Things, etc. Node.js modules, Browserify, and Webpack are used for the front-end tasks as well. As per the official definition from nodejs.org, Node.js is a JavaScript runtime built on Chrome's V8 JavaScript engine. Node.js uses an event-driven, non-blocking I/O model that makes it lightweight and efficient. Let us understand this line by line. In the first line, we can see the statement, Node.js is a JavaScript runtime built on Chrome's V8 JavaScript engine. Node.js is not another programming language like JavaScript, C, or Python. Instead, it is just a JavaScript runtime. Let us take a real-life example to understand the concept. In real life, every fuel vehicle comes with an engine, and the purpose of the engine is to convert fuel into energy. In a similar fashion, every browser software comes with a JavaScript engine. Google's Chrome browser comes with an inbuilt engine called V8. Internet Explorer has Chakra, and SpiderMonkey is the engine named for Mozilla. These engines take care of JavaScript execution. In 2008, the V8 engine was released and made available to the public. You can access it as well from GitHub. A guy named Ryan Dahl built Node.js on top of the V8 engine and libov library. Now let us come to the second line of the definition. Node.js uses an event-driven, non-blocking I/O model that makes it lightweight and efficient. There are a couple of terms here, event-driven and non-blocking I/O. On the browser side, we have events like the click, double-click, on-focus, blur, etc. Similarly, for Node.js on the server side, everything is an event, say receiving incoming requests or connecting to a database. File system operations, database operations, and making third-party API calls are blocking in nature. For example, in traditional technology, the following pseudocode will print 1, 2, and 3. Here we are printing 1 in the first line, and in the line number 2, we are trying to read a file that contains 2, and in the last line, we are printing number 3. In traditional technologies like Java, the output of the program will print 1, 2, and 3. The line 2 file operation is blocking in nature. Only after executing line 2 and getting the output will the next line get executed. But in Node.js, the same program will print 1, 3, and 2. Usually, file, third-party APIs, and DB operations are costly and time-consuming. Node.js doesn't wait for them to finish. Instead, it assigns it to a background process and goes on to the next line. For people coming from other technologies, this might be new. To understand it better, let's take a real-life example. Suppose you go to a restaurant and ask for a ready-to-eat item, like a donut or ice cream. You may get served immediately. If somebody orders an item like a pizza that takes time to prepare, the receptionist will assign it to kitchen staff and go on to serve the next customer. As soon as the item is ready, it will be served. In the same way, if a request involves blocking I/O operations, Node.js assigns it to a background process and goes on to serve the next request. Node.js is used across companies ranging from startups to Fortune 500. If you're using LinkedIn in your mobile, then you need to know that LinkedIn Mobile is served from a Node backend. PayPal use case is an interesting study. PayPal found many improvements when they moved from Java to Node, and their blog clearly articulates the same. Netflix, Trello, and Uber are some of the well-known companies that are embracing Node.js. Apart from the technical reasons discussed so far, Node.js is one of the hot favorites of the software industry and ranked 6th in the recent Stack Overflow survey in popularity. Secondly, with a single programming language, i.e. JavaScript, one can develop an application from end to end. Mern and Mean are two popular full-stack choices for developing applications. There is an ever-growing demand for Node.js professionals. From Fortune 500 companies to startups, everyone is embracing Node, and it is a great time to learn the awesome Node.js technology. In this module, let us see how to install Node.js on your machine. There are different ways to install Node.js. One way is using Node.js installer, and the second way is using NVM. We are going to install Node.js using the installer, as it is the simplest and most straightforward way of getting started. Go to nodejs.org/en/download. Here we can see two versions. LTS stands for long-term support, that was released and stable. The second one is the current version, which is under active development. Let us download the LTS version, Windows Installer. Once downloaded, double-click it or right-click. Select Install option. The installation process is a straightforward way like any other software installation. Accept the terms, and click Next. And Next. For building a few Node modules, Windows operating system needs additional libraries. We can install these tools along with the Node.js, or we can skip it for now and install it at a later point in time, when needed, using the link shown here. Let us select these tools as well and proceed. Once you click the Finish button, a prompt will appear. Here we can see that it takes around 3 GB of space for these additional build tools. Press Enter and it will take a good amount of time. Meanwhile, we can minimize it and verify Node.js installation. To verify Node.js installation, open Command Prompt and type node-v. This will print the Node version installed on the machine. Type npm-v. And we can see the npm version. npm stands for Node Package Manager, and it will be installed along with Node.js. We'll learn more about that in the coming lessons. Now, coming to the other tab, where the build tools are being installed, it will take a few more minutes. And once all tools are installed successfully, you can see a message like this. Press Enter to exit and reboot your machine for these tools to take effect. There are multiple ways to install Node.js on an Ubuntu machine. One way is to install using package installer from the official nodejs.org website, but this may give some permission issues going forward. The second way is using sudo apt-get install. This might install older versions of Node.js. The other ways are to install using ppa and nvm. Let's go with the most flexible option, nvm. NVM stands for Node Version Manager, and it helps us to install Node.js and easily switch between different Node versions. A simple Google search for NVM will take us to the GitHub page where we can get the instructions. Now, open Terminal and install curl if you haven't already got it installed. To install NVM, let us run the following script. Restart your terminal. Now, type nvm space --version, and we can see the NVM version installed. To install the latest Node.js stable version, type nvm install space --lts. Done! Now Node.js is installed. To verify, type node space -v. We can see the Node version installed. Node Package Manager npm gets installed along with Node.js, and npm space -v will show the npm version installed. That's it. Now we're done with the Node.js installation. npm comes with Node.js installation. npm is the default package manager for Node.js and can be used on the command line. npm registry contains third-party modules that you can use in your project. Node.js comes with core modules that are limited in number. New modules can be developed on top of them. The nearest example is your smartphone. A smartphone comes with default libraries like GPS, camera, etc., and a developer can create any app using them and place it in Play Store or the App Store. Similarly, if you are looking for a database driver or a module to upload files or to add security to Node.js applications, then npm registry is the place where one can find them. We can see the npm registry at npmjs.com. If you search for images, we can see there are around 26,000 odd packages available. Anyone can publish modules to npm. In your project, you may find a problem, and you can come up with a solution that can help the fellow developer community by publishing it as an npm module. npm command comes with helper utilities like npm init, which helps in creating or initializing a Node.js project. REPL stands for Read, Evaluate, Print, and Loop. It refers to user input, evaluates it, prints the output, and continues till the process is stopped. To understand it better, let us open a command prompt or a terminal based on your operating system. Type node, and now we entered the REPL environment. Here, we can execute the Node.js code. Let us write a simple JavaScript snippet. Let x equal to 10, y equal to 20. Let z equal x plus y. Z. We can see the code got evaluated and the output got printed to the console. We can write server code as well here. REPL comes with some helpful utilities. To view them, type .help. Here, editor helps us to write code on REPL in editor mode. Let us write a simple function to add two numbers. Press Ctrl-D to finish execution of code in the editor mode. To save the commands executed on REPL to a file in your folder, you can type .save followed by a file name. We can see a new file created with all the REPL commands. And to exit this REPL, you can type .exit. Node REPL comes with a couple of extra utilities. On pressing the Tab button a couple of times, we can see the available modules like HTTP, HTTPS, FS, and more. And on pressing _ we get access to the previous output. For example, if 1 plus 3 is 4, now we can directly access the previous output, that is 4, using this _. That's all for REPL. Let's go to the next session. Let's create a hello.js file and write console.log of hello world. Save the file and open the terminal and type node hello.js and enter. We can see the string hello world got printed. Here, Node is executing JavaScript code. Usually, in a front-end code, JavaScript is executed between script tags. In Node.js, we don't need anything like that. Node.js comes with core modules like OS module to work with operating systems, FS module to work with file system, and HTTP module to write web servers. You can see the list of core modules and their documentation from nodejs.org. As part of this lesson, let us read a text file and print the contents of it using the FS module. Write const fs is equal to require fs. Here we are loading the fs module to our file. It is similar to #include stdio.h in C or import statement in Java. FS module has many inbuilt methods. To explore, we can visit the documentation on the Node.js official site. Coming back to code, let us write fs.read file, hello.txt, function of error data, console.log of data. In this line, the first argument is the file name to read, and the second argument is a callback function. You can use the arrow function here. The callback function has two arguments. The first one is the error object, and the second one is data. We call these kinds of callback functions error-first callback functions. When you are trying to read a file, if any error happens, like file is not available or a permission issue, then the error object gets populated. If everything goes well, the error object becomes null, and the data object gets populated, which is printed in the next line. Node.js handles data as buffers, and we can convert it into the string using the toString method. The FS module supports both synchronous and asynchronous operations. Whatever we have written is executed asynchronously. We can type console.log, statements before and after this block, and see from the output. Node doesn't wait for the file operation to complete and handles it in an asynchronous fashion. Node supports synchronous operations as well. We can see from the documentation the FS module has the fs.readSync method. Let us use that and convert our code to a synchronous one. There is no need for callback for a synchronous operation. Now you can see file read operation is blocking, and the code is being executed in a line-by-line manner. Let us create a web server using HTTP module. Create a file called server.js and write const http is equal to require http. This line loads core HTTP module. HTTP comes with the create server method that takes a function as an argument. The request is the incoming request from a client, and the response object is what the server uses to send back data to the client. Using response.send method, we are saying hello, and the server is set to listen on port 4000 in the following line. Save the above file and run nodeserver.js. Come to the browser and hit localhost 4000. Here, we got the message. Here, localhost, or 127.0.0.1, refers to your machine and the port where the Node.js server is running. We can see the power of Node.js. With a few lines of code, we can spin up a web server. In traditional technologies, comparatively, it takes a lot of effort to achieve the same. In this chapter, we are going to introduce you to REST APIs and write them using Express.js. By the end of this session, we will serve a static website using Express.js. One can build applications using any of the programming languages like Java, Python, Ruby, or Node.js. To establish communication between these different applications, we need to expose APIs. APIs are the way that two applications communicate with each other. When you are signing into your Twitter or LinkedIn accounts or making a simple Google search, you are actually making API calls. REST stands for Representational State Transfer. It is an architectural style. An API that satisfies the constraints proposed by REST is called a REST API. An alternative for REST is SOAP. However, REST is quite popular for its simplicity, support for different data formats, and it's easier to work with. As part of this tutorial, let us write REST APIs using Express.js. We are going to write get, post, put, and delete REST APIs. Get API is used to fetch data and often used for non-sensitive data and can be bookmarked. For example, if you are visiting a site from your browser, what you are actually doing is you are making a get API call. Post API is used to send sensitive data to the server. When you log into Gmail or Yahoo, you are making a post API call. Put API is used to update data, like changing an existing password or updating account details. Delete is used to delete data. Express.js is a minimal framework built on top of Node.js. It makes working with Node.js easier and efficient, and it's found a place in MERN and MEAN stacks. It is one of the most popular frameworks for Node.js. There are other alternatives like Fastify, Happy, IBM's Loopback, etc. Let's get started writing APIs. Create a new Node project using npm init and give appropriate values. Let us add Express to the project using npm install express. Here, the Node package manager fetches the Express module from the npm registry and places it in our local machine and makes an entry in the package.json file. We can see a new folder called node_modules got created, and there are many folders inside that, even though we only installed Express. If we can go to Express and open package.json, it has a few other dependencies which got installed. And those packages might have a few other dependencies which get installed as well. Let's load Express in our project using const express is equal to require express. Const app is equal to express. Now, using the app, let us write a get API. App.get of a simple root and a function with request and response. Let us send response as hi. And this app listens to port 4001. Now let us go to the browser and hit localhost 4001. And we can see a welcome message from the API. In a similar fashion, we can write APIs for other HTTP verbs. App.post, app.put, and app.delete. To make the above API calls, let us install a tool called Postman. In this lesson, let us see how to install Postman and make API calls. To install Postman, go to postman.com/downloads and download the version based on your operating system. Or you can try it in your browser as well. For Windows, you get an installer, which is a straightforward process. In Ubuntu, you can install using package installer, or we can install using the command sudo snap install postman. Once done, open Postman for your list of programs. You can sign in or skip the sign-up process and start using it. Let us make a get API call by tapping in localhost 4001. We can see the API response body downside. To make another API call, open a new tab and enter http localhost 4001. Select API type as POST. We got the response. Similarly, we can make put and delete API calls by selecting the appropriate HTTP verb. POST and PUT APIs are used to send sensitive data. We can send different types of data, so let us try to send a simple JSON message to the backend API by selecting raw data type and JSON from the dropdown. Let us try to access incoming data through request.body. We can see no data is received. To package the incoming data into request.body, we need to use a middleware called express.json. Let us write app.use of express.json. A middleware, from the name we can understand, gets invoked before the actual API call. In other words, when an incoming request arrives, instead of directly going to the actual API call, this middleware comes into play and takes control of the incoming request. Here, the inbuilt Express middleware packages the incoming request's data into request.body. Now, we can see the request.body is printing the data we received. Whenever we make changes to the Node.js code, we need to restart the server. To avoid this, let us install nodemon, a npm module that automatically restarts on any file change. We need to install it globally, so we pass the -g flag. Once done, type nodemon space index.js. We can see on any file change, nodemon automatically restarts the server. That's it. We have written 4 REST APIs and tested them through Postman, and added middleware to send data to POST and PUT APIs. Awesome! As part of this 45-minute tutorial, you have started your journey with Node.js, learned what Node is, understood how to work with core modules like FS and HTTP, you have run your web server, written REST APIs using Express.js, made API calls with Postman, and served a static website with Express.js. If you want to learn more on Node, explore our Node.js bootcamp. It covers all the essentials needed to become a good Node.js developer. We are committed to Node.js education, and we have many more courses available for advanced learners as well. Node.js Academy is the shortest way to become a Node.js expert. If you are interested in live trainings for your team, reach out to us at trainings@nodejsacademy.com.